going to be probably one of the longest videos, not the longest videos I've done, but like my longest wrap up, because I'm proud to say that I read a lot of books, but then at the end of the month I put myself in a reading slump. So that is great, you know, getting myself ready for February. Hi everyone, it's Maddie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a January wrap up for all the books that I read this month. I have never read so many books in a month. Usually I read from probably end of last year. I started reading about 4 to 5 books for like, I think it was like the last 2 months. But the rest of the year was like 2 to 3 or 4 books, which is not bad, you know. School got in the way, but you know, I'm not doing school this year, so I have so much time to read. And so I read 9 books this month. Yes, applaud me. Yes, I read that many. I'm very surprised that I did. I thought I was gonna get a little more just because I had so much time this week and last week, but I put myself in a reading slump because basically the reason I read so many books is because I was reading like 2 to 3 at a time. Not the smartest idea. I don't know how other people would do it, but I'm definitely probably gonna have to cut back on probably maybe reading 2 books at a time or just 1, because I feel like I stress myself so much to finish a book. Basically every single book that I read was on my Kindle, because as some people may know, if you watched my Christmas video of opening presents, I got a Kindle. And you're probably wondering, if you watched the video where my case is, I took it off. I had a reason. I wanted to put a pop sock on it because I wanted to lay down while I was reading, and I didn't want to like kind of hold it awkwardly to the point where it was gonna like fall on my face if I moved my hand. So I put a pop sock on it. But the thing is though, I have my case downstairs. I had my case on and I put my pop socket on it, and people that are on my Snapchat private story, yeah, this is what happened when I tried to take it off. The Australian pop socket website was kind enough to send me another base, which I'm very happy about. But anyways, all the books that I read on my Kindle, but I did actually read 2 physical books because I was like, I've kind of drifted apart from reading physical books because I started reading on my Kindle and I was enjoying it way too much. I had to. It's an excuse, but at the same time, I have Kindle Unlimited and it's only for 3 months, and I'm a very slow reader, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read a lot of books. There are so many books on Kindle Unlimited, I just want to go through them instead of having to, you know, pay them. But anyways, if you ever watch monthly wrap-ups, you know the drill. Okay, what the book is, what I rated it, and what my thoughts were. I'm gonna hold my Kindle for comfort because, you know, I love my Kindle. Let me know if you want me to make a video on my Kindle and I'll do it, of course. But anyways, the first book that I read this month is To Love Jasonthorne by Ella Mays. This is my first book by her. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I'm definitely going to be reading the second book because everyone's telling me that it is a lot better than the first book. So, you know, I'm going to give that one a go too. So we have our 2 main characters, Olive and Jason. It is a duo POV. This is a brother's best friend romance and childhood brother's best friend romance. Olive has known Jason since she was little, and she's always had a big crush on him since he basically walked into her house and she saw him for the first time. I don't know what that was, but anyways. But unfortunately, Jason actually has to move away because I think it was to his uncle, because his mum had passed away. A few years later, Olive writes a book and it becomes such a big hit. It becomes such a big hit that people want to make it into a movie. She basically reunites with Jason because he is a movie star. The producers want Jason to be the male love interest, so they bring him in and, you know, they kind of reunite. A whole bit of fiasco happens and they have to sign this whole contract to fit date. Is it marriage? Is that marriage of convenience? And they want them to be married. And so yes, this whole marriage convenience thing, and it's just read the book. It is great. The reason I did not give it a 5 stars, I didn't really like the writing. The writing was good, but it's just, it was a bit little too cheesy. I know that Olive was a kid, but she was very like, she just spoke her mind. Yeah, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. People might think it's cute, but I just felt like it was like, oh, okay. Also as well, there was one scene, I don't want to spoil it, but it just, consent is the thing. It wasn't a bad way, no, he did not like rape her or anything. His fingers. Yeah, I was a little concerned about that, so that's why I gave it 4 stars. But anyways, it was still good, still cute. I cannot wait for Lucy's book. I was rooting for her, and the guy, I forgot his name. I'm literally forgetting everything. I feel like Adam Connor's gonna be great. Next book that I read, I've seen so many people read this and I wanted to give it a go. The next book that I read on my Kindle was The Cheat Sheet. So this story is about Bree and Nathan. Bree was a ballerina before she got into an accident, but now she's actually teaching and she owns her own company. And Nathan is a football player, and so they've known each other since high school, and they kind of had to split ways for college, and they kind of lost that friendship, but then they kind of like rekindled their friendship back when I think she moved back to town. This is dual POV, and I love when we get the Magel's POV as well. It just makes it better. But at the same time, if we don't get it, it's like, what are they thinking? Mysterious, you know? Obviously, because we got both their POVs, we know they have a crush on each other. And as they are obviously Marinette and Adrian, they are freaking oblivious to their feelings to each other. We're gonna push past that, okay? Okay. Well, one night, Bree gets drunk and she accidentally tells a reporter, who she didn't know was a reporter at the time, that basically she has a crush on him and that she just doesn't like the other girls. And so it was this whole fiasco thing later on, and they have to fake date. Obviously, because they're fake dating and they both have feelings for each other, they kind of want to test the waters and see what happens. Definitely go read this book. It was so cute. It's a little cheesy. I'm okay with cheesy, but just not too much cheesy. You know what I mean? I did give this book a 4.5. Only reason was because almost everything was a little too perfect. Like, I don't know if that was just me reading this book, but like, obviously Bree, she has like financial problems because she has her own studio, but she's also trying to pay for her apartment and everything after that. But it's like, things are just a little too perfect. Highly recommend, really enjoyed the book. Let's go on to the next one. I'm so excited to talk about this book. So, I read this book on my Kindle and physical book because I owned the physical book, and I was like, you know what, let's do both. And I annotated, and let's just say I did a lot of annotating. This book is actually not a lot of people's favorites in the series since it's like the first book, but I really enjoyed it. But I read Throttled by Lauren Asher, my queen. The Fine Print was the first book I ever read by her, and it was amazing. I absolutely love it. I love her writing. And I've seen so many people raving about the Dirty Air series, and so I had to read the first one. I did buddy read this with one of my friends. It was so much fun to read with her and, you know, talk about it as we were reading. Yeah, I tabbed a lot. So this is a F1 racing romance, and it is a brother's rival. So Maya's brother Santiago is part of the F1 racing world, and he got an offer to be with a company and obviously get thousands of dollars for it. The only problem is that when he signs up, he's going to be teammates with his rival Noah Slade, because, you know, Noah Slade, this book, I don't know what that I don't know what that was. Just please ignore me. Maya was taking a year off and doing photography and just, you know, kind of wanting to kind of travel. And so her brother was like, hey, why don't you just come with me? And because, you know, we're going to so many different places for racing, why don't you, know, get some shots of the races and everywhere we go. And so, you know, she's kind of stuck with Noah as well. Yeah, just go read it. Go read it. 5 stars. Go read it now. Go. Yeah, I'll give it to you right there. If people do have a Kindle and you have Kindle Unlimited, it is on Kindle Unlimited, so you can go read the whole entire series on there. Maya and Noah are so freaking cute. I am very excited to get Sophie and Liam's book, which is the next one, Collided. They were already so cute from when they first interacted. I was like, I cannot wait. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to continue the series. I am very, very excited. I'm so excited. I had to take a break because my camera was getting too hot and I was getting too hot in this room. And so I got my Kindle case. And then this arrived. I bought it because I had a gift voucher for Dimix. Explain. I don't know if it's just the heat that's why it's bendy. I've literally talked about this in like 10 different videos, but like it finally freaking came, and it's the right one too. Emotional Damage. The next book I'm gonna talk about, one of my all-time favorites now. Did I or did I not buy this book on my Kindle? Right, started reading it, and then about like probably like 10% through decided to buy the physical copy. No, maybe, yes. I got sweat mark. You know when you get like those kind of like yellowy brown marks on it? I hate that. I'm gonna try to keep it out of the sun too, because I took it on holidays with me. I read From Luke of Love. This is my first MZ book ever. She did not disappoint. I did buy the physical copy, even though I did buy it on my Kindle. Okay, if you're watching this, right, and you have a Kindle, I know you bought the physical books, the books that you really liked on the Kindle. Don't even come at me. I read this and it is one of my all-time favorite books ever. I did recommend this to my friend who used to do ice skating. This book follows Jasmine, and obviously she's an ice skater, and for so many years she's like broken bones and sprained and fractured, and just her body's gone through a lot with this sport. And she decided to go into pairs. She's done it before and it didn't end the way that she wanted, but she decided to go one more time into pairs. The only way she could go into pairs was to go with her enemy, Ivan Luko. And so obviously she has her doubts, right? And so does he, because it is not a grumpy sunshine. No, it's grumpy. And honestly, it's not my first slow burn. I have read slow burn where they meet each other in one book, which is like the size of this, or probably actually thicker. It's a Throne of Glass. Technically I count that as like a slow burn, because you know they meet in Air of Fire and they don't get together until like probably middle of Queen of Shadows. I haven't read Queen of Shadows yet, but I know what happens. So, but this is my first MZ book. You know what, we're gonna get this as my first slow burn, okay? Forget Throne of Glass. Usually I am not a patient person, kind of impatient sometimes. When books don't have like enough banter and all that stuff, I'm just like, get to the point. I really just want them to get together now then, if they're not gonna really bicker or anything. And I was a little concerned because this is a 500-page book and they don't get together until like what? And I know for a fact, because so many people have told me and I've seen people talk about it, that they don't get together until 90% into the book, like 80 or 90%. 5 million stars for this, if I could. 5 stars, but if I, you know, it's my own ranking system. I'm gonna rank it how I want. 5 million stars. I loved this book so first. I love this book so much. I'm definitely gonna go back and annotate it. I need to get a whole lot of blue and a whole lot of red because I don't have any blue or red. The tension and just everything about this book. I will say the start, I was a little iffy. I was like, oh, but then I kept reading. As soon as her and Ivan started interacting, I was like, this is gonna be so great. Like, I just knew, okay? I have that sense. I just know. I loved it so much. I am so excited to read a lot of other books. As some of you know, Larry reads. She posted Marianne's about a video and I go by her word. So yes, I take her word for everything because, you know, we love a person that recommends a lot of great books. Also, a lot of people were reading this book this month. If you haven't read an MZ book yet, or you just haven't read this book yet in general, this is your sign. Go read it. I've also seen so many people post like aesthetic videos and everything. It's just, I love it so much. Also, I love this art. Like, it is so good. What the hell? So the next book that I read on my Kindle is part of a series, and I actually read the first 4 books of this series this month. So many people have been raving about the series this month, and I was like, I have to read it. Like, I have to see what's going on. The first time I saw it, someone had commented how short the books were, and I was like, that's a little concerning. Okay, the series is the Mind F series. We're gonna go through it one by one. I am not gonna give my full thing. I'll give my full thing for the first book, and then the rest I'll just tell you what I rated it and just a little bit what I thought about it. So this series is very dark. Do set the trigger warnings before you read the series. I did not do that, mainly because I don't get triggered easily with books. Like, I can just read it and be like, okay, it doesn't affect me in like a bad way. So this is dual POV. We get Lana Myers and we get Logan. I forgot his last name. We're gonna ignore that. So Lana had a very traumatic past, and I'm not going to spoil what has happened in that past, but I will say it was very traumatic. And she is now a serial killer. Kind of good reasons though. Like, usually for serial killers, you're like why are they doing this? Like, that's disgusting. Why are they killing people? But when you hear about Lana and her past and everything, you're like, yes, queen. She's a bad bitch. Yes. And Logan, he is an FBI agent. And so they meet in a coffee place and he pays for her stuff. She doesn't really trust people. She only has one person in her life that she trusts because she has known him for a very long time. And this is, I will say, insta love. I'll put that out. I know for someone that doesn't like insta love, I actually ignored that because I just wanted to see what Lana would do with just all the people that she's killing. You know, I was entertained by that. But like, you know, if you love Criminal Minds, definitely read this. Yes, this is insta love. I was a little skeptical. I was actually gonna put the first book down because of that. So yes, Logan and Lana start dating, right? She's a killer, he's an FBI agent. He has a case, her case, but he doesn't know it's her. You know, you just like, it's fun to read about because like you're on the sidelines in his POV and he thinks it's some other guy that's killing people and doing all this stuff, and you're just like, honey, you're way off. So the first book is The Risk, and so obviously the synopsis I gave you is an introduction to the first book and everything. I gave that a 4-star just because it's insta love, and even though yes I ignored that, I didn't like that it was insta love. Even though yes, it's great that the book was short, I just kind of wish it was the 2 first books together. Maybe I think I would have liked that more, but like the cliffhanger makes it worth it, you know. The next one is Sidetracked. I also gave that 4 stars. It was a little slow. It was kind of a little boring in some areas. The third book, Scarlet Angel, I did give a 4, but I've actually brought it down to about a 3 to 3.5 just because I felt like nothing really was happening. And then All the Lies, last chapter. Oh my god, I did give a 4-star for that, but I like the relationship, but it's like not much is there. Like, I feel like that's what happens with insta love. Overall, I think the whole thing would be probably a 3.5. I absolutely love Lana so much. She's a total badass, like I've said too many times already. It just feels like there was something missing, maybe because the books are too short, that I felt like it wasn't enough. I highly recommend reading. So this is 5 books. Oh, got one more left. Yay. I will definitely read that next month. Last book. This last book I got an ARC for, and I actually just ordered for the physical copy because I have the physical copy for the first 2 books, and obviously I needed the 3rd book. The series was kind of long, so it took me a little while than I expected. I did put up a review when I was probably like halfway through the book, like, because I'm a slow reader and it was a thick book. I got Twisted Hate. I only read the first book. I haven't read Twisted Games, which would have been great, but I definitely will read it next month before Twisted Lies comes out, which is coming out in the summer, I think, or the spring, I don't know. I can actually talk about it now because that's really great, but I won't give spoilers, obviously. I gave this book 5 stars. But the thing though that I didn't realize until my friend pointed it out is that her characters, the male characters, are like a combination of each other. Josh is a doctor, right? and he like kind of does that whole threatening thing to unalive men that try to touch her, and apparently Reese does that too, and basically Alex does that too. Like as soon as she said that, I was like, oh yeah. So that's like a little thing, but that's okay, that's okay. Like I feel like you see so many people that are like that in books. Yes, books. The men. I loved it. Those are all the books that I read so far this year and what I read this month. I am so excited to read so many more great books. I know there's so many new releases coming out very soon this year. I feel like it's gonna be a great reading year. But I also have acting as well, so that is a bonus on top of that. So you might see some acting stuff on my channel if you guys would like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload, and I will see you guys in my next video. Hopefully it's the reading vlog that I've been trying to edit but just really haven't edited much. I'm getting there, okay? I promise I'm getting there. Bye. Way home, avoid what I can let